Hi, Joe.
How you
Good
going?
morning. Yep.
Morning.
Morning.
Hi Joe, could you recording this meeting
Yeah, already
and then we
recording.
can thank you.
I'm on top of it.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey man.
Hi, man.
Hi.
I
Hello, team.
Hello.
Hello.
Who have we got?
let me cut on the bill.
All right. Hi, team. Good to see and hear you. Today is just a quick catch up to check on where we're up to and get us ready for our next phase. Agile 1 is coming up, and that's a really, really big phase. Lots and lots to do, both in terms of development work, but also documentation as well. So we need to get on that pretty quickly. So I just kind of wanted today to make sure that you have an awareness of what those requirements are as we go through. So before we do that, let's just quickly take a reflection on where we went in our last assignment. So you went very well indeed. So a strong HD. So congratulations, team. That's really, really super news. That is an improvement on your first report. So that's really, really good progression there. So congratulations on all who put good efforts into that effort. I can see across your self-reviews, again, they are very strong. So lots of useful data there. So thank you for that. Looking at your peer reviews, generally they are strong, but there are some team members that still are getting feedback that they need to make stronger contributions and to work of a higher quality. What I need to say at this stage is there is one more chance for you to show improvement in those areas before the assessment comes together to see whether you're passing that ILO and therefore can go into the next unit. So if there is still stuff coming up on your peer review that needs improvement, you absolutely must show improvement because, like I said, there's one more chance, but everybody needs to be working very strongly together in this round or you simply won't get all of the work done. So if you're not working to quality, you're not submitting on time, you're not giving ideas, you absolutely must improve on that because otherwise your team will suffer much more than they have before because there's so much work to be done. It's really, really important. So please take note if anything came through. You can absolutely ask me more about it if you want to, but they're fairly self-explanatory. Please improve if they have been, again, identified to you. And congratulations on those who did improve. That was really good. Congrats. All right, so there was a lecture put on Milo on Sunday that basically talks about the specifications for the next assignment. So take a look at that if you haven't already. That will talk about, the major things and provide some examples of how you might communicate the information. But today I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the tasks involved in each one of those stages. So Agile basically means iterative cycles of design, development, testing, and feedback, and then reflection. And so we're going to do the first one in this semester now, and then 2 more in second semester if all goes well for your team. So the design is this place that we start, and according to my list, Yifan, are you still lead in the design?
Yes.
Terrific. So what you're going to do, this and the other side of Easter in week 7, if you haven't done it yet, is you're going to get your team together and together you're going to lead them through a process of designing the entire system. So what we're going to do is figure out what the whole structure of architecture of the system looks like, what all of the parts are, how they all link together, what your inputs, where your inputs come from, where your outputs go to, all of the interoperability requirements. for your overall system. So that's a really important thing for you to lead quickly so that everybody else in the team understands how the whole system is going to work and therefore what their parts will actually contribute to. So that has to happen first. So either in the next couple of days or the other side of Easter, that's something to start on immediately. Once that's done, your lead programmer, I think, is Joel still?
Yeah, I share it with Long as well.
Oh, great. So Joel and Long, what you guys are going to be doing is you are going to be guided by this design architecture, but what you're also going to do is go back to your planning report and go through your use cases or whatever equivalent you had in yours. And you're going to then go to your agile cycle and your release schedule and figure out what you said was to be built in Agile 1, and then you're going to get cracking on the build. So what you're going to do is put together a programming team around you. You're going to do pair programming, or you're going to do whatever style works for you so that all of you have some familiarity as to what is being developed and that it adheres to the particular requirements that you have specified. So Joel and Long, those are the things that you guys are going to lead once the design has been confirmed by you all. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we have our artists and interfaces. Who's leading that?
Me.
Oh, excellent. Great. So what you're going to do is while the programming is happening, and you can, of course, be involved in that as well, but what your team is going to lead, so get people around you as well, is you're going to develop some interface prototypes. So you're going to go back to your HCI knowledge, you're going to go back to your user experience, you're going to go back to your initiation and planning documents, and remember the characteristics of your particular type of user, and you're going to create some prototypes. Once you've done that, you're going to bring them back to the team, you're going to take them to your client, and you're going to get some decisions made on which ones to go ahead with. So that's going to be what you do to create the interface side while the other team are creating the actual technical side. Yep. And so those two things kind of happen in concert. And then what we need to do is run a testing phase. Now, all of you will be involved in that, but it's entirely okay if you want to create a testing lead, because that person will need to create the protocols, which are the questions or the criteria. Then they need to recruit people to do the testing. They need to run the tests, and then they need to document the outputs of those tests. So all of those things need to happen, and then you have a reflection in the report that basically says, well, what have we learned through all of this? What has to change because of what we know now? Do we have to have changes to our Gantt charts? Do we have to change to our scope? Any of those other things? So you have a bit of a reflection phase. So, Mirza, are you still doing the documentation?
Yep.
Right. So what you're going to be doing is while all of this is happening, we can't wait till the end for the document to be written because it's so big. So what you're going to do is make something available to everybody so that they can drop their parts in as they progress. So for example, once we have the design team specifying the design, they need to then document their decisions and examples of it into that report. So it needs to be open fast. And then when the programming team have created what they've been able to develop, they have to do a comparison to what was said was going to be developed to what actually has been and explain any differences. So that is available to them as well. Then the testing team will describe their whole protocol and the outputs, and then you'll get client feedback and so on. So your job, in addition to being on all of the other teams or whichever teams are appropriate, you're going to be pushing this document together from the very first weeks because it's really, really big and I can't wait. Okay?
Okay.
Terrific. So lots both in terms of the actual build and the actual documentation. In terms of how it might work in terms of flow, what we're looking for is probably the design to be done in this week 7, so this side of Easter and when we return. 8, 9 and 10 is probably good for the programming and the art and the interfaces to be developed. 11 is a good week to do the testing, and then in 12 the document is actually due. So if this is what I was saying before, it's really, really important that you keep on track. And if you don't participate, it really matters this time because you basically just run out of time. So again, any feedback that says not contributing, not carrying your workload, absolutely can't happen again because there's just no time for it. So that's kind of what's coming up. in the second half of this semester. We don't get together again until week 10. And in week 10, it's just a demo. All it is us coming back together and talking about where you're up to. So what I'd like to see is some kind of screen sharing from somebody that shows me what you've been working on. If you can't screen share, then you could just do a little, quick video or quick recording of something to show me what you're actually creating so that I can see that things are progressing appropriately. No formality, no slides, no nothing, just show me what you're working on. That's all we need in week 10.
Yep.
Okay. In week 13, we will have a full demonstration, which is a little longer, which basically is where you show me what your Agile Cycle 1 actually looks like, what your release is. So lots of stuff to be done, lots of things to get onto immediately. That said, however, the Easter break for university starts tomorrow and it goes through to Wednesday next week. While there's a lot to be done, there is time for you to do it in our scheduled sessions. I don't want you or need you to be working over Easter. If you want to do that personally and you want to learn something or you want to research something, that's completely fine, up to you. But there is no reason there's no need for your team to have to work over Easter to get this project done. What I would prefer you to do is rest and relax and find things that make you smile and make you happy and eat lots of chocolate and actually just rest. Because when we come back together in week 8, there's a huge amount of work to be done and that will bring its own stress. I don't need you to be exhausted by the time you even get there. Okay, so please try and relax. Please don't try to force other people to do any work. If you want to do it personally yourself, that's great, but nobody else needs to do that. It's entirely up to them personally. When we come back, full hell for leather, going crazy to get everything built, but you'll have time and it will be okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. So those are the things I really needed to just make sure that you have an awareness of today. Are there any questions that you have or things that are going on in your project or anything I can do to help you today?
I just want to check that when we week 10, in our schedule, the first stage maybe didn't make any function, just some interface for our client. So maybe no one function is completed. So
by week 10?
Week 10.
Yeah, that's okay. So you just talk to me about what was meant to be done by week 10 and show me what you've been working on.
Yes, I will plan our schedule.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
So if the technical team is working on stuff, they can just show me that they are working on stuff and that will be enough.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing needs to be finished by week 10 unless it was specifically said in your release schedule that it would be. But I don't care if things aren't finished in week 10. I just want to see that things are happening in week 10.
That's okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Here to help you.
Yep. I think we're good. We won't make this run over time.
All right. Well, in that case, I will see you again in week 10. But if you need me on the other side of Easter, I'll be taking a break beforehand. But on the other side, you need to see me or talk to me or send me anything, please do that. I will be around. Otherwise, I'm so excited to see whatever you're working on in week 10. So go and relax, eat lots of chocolates, go and play games, go and get a nap. I'm going to do that. All right, you guys take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.